What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have an interesting one. Have you ever wondered what happens when you combined Whiteflame Torrent, White Whiteflame Torrent, Azure Bolt, Scorcher, and Flayer? No? Let me show you what I got going on. So, this feels a little weirder. I was sitting there, I was playing the other day, and I was like, all of these things stack with each other. I wonder how well this actually does. So, Whiteflame Torrent, if you don't know, is the Shia weapon specific perk. What this does is chance to deal additional damage after landing an attack. Long story short, the way this works, every 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 9, when you attack, there is a chance that you apply a minimum of 50 damage to your attack. Think about it kind of like blast status procs. Okay? Only instead of it happening once you've accumulated enough of those stacks, kind of like paralysis, sleep, so on and so forth, it just happens. And it happens in 3, 6, and 9 second increments. Your first hit will always do it whenever you start a fight, and then a timer internal cooldown starts of 3 seconds. There is a chance at the end of that 3 seconds you hit it. If you don't hit it, it goes up another 3 seconds to 6. Once you get to that 6, there's a chance that it does it again. If it also doesn't happen, then you have essentially fail safe. You've got bad luck protection, and it goes up to 9 seconds. Once that 9 seconds hit, boom, you hit it, you hit Whiteflame Torrent again, and then it restarts the entire cycle. In longer fights, it's really, really good. And the reason for it is because it only works off of that own internal cooldown. So, when you pair it with Scorcher, it does more damage. Naturally, it does about 50. When you add Scorcher level 1, you get about 69 to 71. Okay? And then use things like Flayer, which make it easier to inflict wounds. And depending on what attacks you do, it also will build up to do a non-elemental based blast, which means not only are we doing Whiteflame Torrent Scorcher explosions for about 70 damage, we are also going to add non-elemental damage with Flayer. But wait, there's also more. Thanks to Lagiacris, we have Azure Bolt 1, which means we get extra affinity and extra thunder damage on buildup. So we have Whiteflame Torrent, Flayer, and Azure Bolt all working in tandem with each other to provide us with extra damage. And I was really thinking, maybe this will be good. Maybe. So we have the Guardian Rathalos helmet and the Guardian Rathalos Vambraces, the arms. We have Lagiacris Beta for the chest and for the coil. And then we have the Gamma Ray Dow Greaves with the Flayer, the Chainblade Charm 2. I just didn't have enough stuff to upgrade it to the next level quite yet. And the Corrupted Mantle. As far as decorations go, we have 2 Counter Jewels. We have 2 Mighty Jewels. We have 1, 2, and 3 Protection Jewels. I decided to go with 3 levels of Part Breaker. The reason for it is Flayer and Part Breaker together end up being a little harmonious. Flayer makes it easier to break parts and to create wounds. Part Breaker does the same thing. Figured it might work a little bit better. Along with the Adapt Jewel and a Tenderizer Jewel, which gives us Weakness Exploit 5, Maximum Might 3, Divine Blessing 3, Stun Resistance 3, Stamina Surge 3, Part Breaker 3, Flayer 2, Counter Strike 2, and Adaptability. As far as the weapon goes, we are using the Shia weapons. I chose Switchaxe. The reason I chose Switchaxe is because Switchaxe, the majority of its moveset applies Flayer attacks. If I were to choose something like Dual Blades, for example, the Dual Blades would be able to proc it. However, none of your Demon Flurry combos proc it. So you can't use some of the best parts of Dual Blade. Greatsword. Greatsword hits really, really slow. And because it hits so slow, you don't get to take full advantage of Whiteflame Torrent. The only other weapon that I was really considering was Chargeblade. Chargeblade, however, ended up finding out, it only procs off of the initial hit of your Savage Axe swings. it doesn't count the little buzzsaw damage that goes through the monster, which means Switchaxe is better. That being said, now that we've gone over the build, I haven't even tested this thing yet, so we'll see how well this does. I'm kind of excited, I won't lie. But now that we've gone over the build, now that we've gone over all the details, how everything stacks up together, let's go ahead and go see how it fares against some of these harder monsters. All right, now we're gonna try something a little different, and this is just so that I can kind of showcase what the build actually does without being mid-hunt, because I like to yap. So, Switchaxe. Switchaxe is great because it allows you to activate Flayer, allows you to activate Azure Bolt, and it allows you to activate the Whiteflame Torrent with relative ease, and it's a faster weapon. So, if we were to attack right here, you can see 118. You saw the little bit of sparkle cloud from Azure Bolt. Boom. If you were paying attention, you saw the 69 right there. That 69 was the Scorcher and Whiteflame Torrent connecting together. If we were to attack again, you can see 51 now. That 51 and the blue sparks were from the Azure Bolt. Now, the thing about it is that we also broke a wound right there. So we're hitting 145. We'll call it 146 because it is decimal. And you can see Whiteflame Torrent procced again. So that's 69 plus the, I believe it was about 50, 51. Just those two things alone are about 110 damage. Now, or 120 damage. Now you can see wound breaks are actually happening fairly often. I mean, I only have 6 hits and I've gotten 1 full wound break. You can see that the Whiteflame Torrent keeps proccing. That is because, like I explained in the build section of this, it activates on 3, 6, and 9 second intervals. So, if we were to sit here and fight like normal, you can see the 69. That was Scorcher. We've created another wound. Azure Bolt with the 51. 69, 51, we're looking at a grand total of 120 damage. Plus, we have made more wounds. If you look closely, though, eventually, we will see the Flayer proc. Right there. 160 damage. There was a little like slash line. It was kind of purple looking the whole bit. It took a couple of hits to get there. But if you really think about it, every 9 seconds you're doing an additional 70 damage. Plus the 51 or 50 damage from the Azure Bolt, and 160 on top of that every, we'll say, 15 or so hits with your Switchaxe. If you were to put all of that math together, you have 70, 50, 160. 70 and 50, you're looking at a grand total of 120. Plus that 160, you're looking at almost 300 damage just being added because you're fighting. And the best part is with the introduction of the Heartbreaker and Flayer, you're also creating even more wounds. You can see here, I'm just attacking with my sword. We'll swap here. We'll do some damage with our sword swings. And you can see another 160 right there. Within those 20 hits, I was able to apply 3 different cases of Whiteflame Torrent, which is, we'll call 70. Okay, so 3 different cases is 210. Azure Bolt triggered once, which is an additional 50, 260, plus the 160 that we got from Flayer. If we were to calculate that, every, we'll say, 45 seconds, if you're taking 10 minutes for a hunt, you are adding, let's find out, you're looking at 13 different instances of that additional damage being applied, and that additional damage is about 500. If you do that 13 times 500, you're looking at an additional 6,500 damage just for fighting. Okay. Do I think this build is meta? No, absolutely not. It is not going to be meta. It is nowhere near good enough. And the real truth of the matter is you're only going to get a lot of those damage stacks if you're taking a long time on your hunt. But it's fun and it's different. So I encourage you guys, if you're looking for something different, something more entertaining, something honestly just kind of fun, that's off the cuff, I really encourage you guys to try this build. With that being said, thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.